Are you all there? Can you hear me? Well, I hope the answer to that is yes. Because of the wonderful things he does. I don't know why I did that, truthfully. But it is lovely to be back. It has been a little while. But, oh wait, I left my legs. Hold on, give me a second here. Give me a second here. There we go. I can stand up. That's a thing I can do. But it is good to see you all. How are you? Good? That's what I hope. So. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do at all. We're going to turn that off real quick. Oh. I want to turn that off. There we go. It's all fine. Nothing happened. Ugh. But, how are you all? Good. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing wonderfully, for the most part. Pretty good, actually. Yes. But, I have some... I know it's been a little while. Like, it's been a hot minute. Oh, wait, is it not? Oh, wait, am I still on the last thing? No, okay, I'm accurate. I didn't know if I was or not, truthfully. But I'm just glad that I'm doing it. I'm rusty. It's been like a whole month almost. And I know last time I said, oh, maybe I'll try and do this sooner, like a week. I lied. Well, no, it's not that I lied. It's just that I hope you all can see this wonderful drawing behind me. Wait, no, not drawing. This wonderful and amazing scene which I have created. I know, it is quite lovely, is it not? It is essentially, well, I don't know what to call it. It's the reading room. Can't you see the book behind me? It is a room with a book. Therefore, it is the reading room. I don't know what else to tell you. So, regardless of that, I'm quite proud of it. It took me like 2 weeks to do, which is why it took me that much longer to stream. Because what turned into, oh, I'll do it next week, turned into, well, I want to finish this first. And that took way longer than planned. So, here we are, a month later, and yeah, regardless, I'm very proud of it. I hope you all like it. It did take me a long time, but, oh, what is going on? Ignore that. That was nothing. I don't even think you could actually hear that, so I could just be talking like a crazy person. But I'm not crazy. You all know that. You all know that I'm perfectly sane. But, here we are. So, I have a little treat for you all today. I know in previous times I've mentioned my desire to read for you all, because I think reading is good for you, and as well, I'm trying to read more. So if I'm going to be reading, then you all are going to be reading too. However, you won't get to read. You'll just be listening to me read to you. Because I don't share this is my book. I'm not going to share it with you. Maybe I'll share a picture of it later on Instagram. But for right now, it is simply mine. So, what are we reading today, you ask? Well, that is a good question, I answer. We will be reading a few tales from the Brothers Grimm, the Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. So, to start it off, I would like us to begin with a classic. What the heck? Wait, hold on. For those of you who are unaware, there are about... Give me a moment here. In total, there are 211 Grimm fairy tales. So there's a lot. And so because there's a lot, you have, your common ones. You have your classic, what are they called? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, Rapunzel, Hansel and Gretel. All those classic fairy tales. Tom Thumb, a personal favorite of mine. I was liked as a child. They do, in fact, have a fairy tale that is called A Jew Among Thorns. I have never heard of it, and curiosity is beginning to get the better of me. And part of me wants to see what it is, because that is a fascinating title, is it not? So, I'm going to be honest, the first fairy tale I was going to read for you all was going to be... Yes, I know fairy tales are exciting, aren't they? Thank you, Genocide. That... No one clip that. Don't, anyways. I was going to read Rumpelstiltskin to start the night off, but I have been incredibly intrigued by A Jew Among Thorns. So I think we're going to start with that one, actually. We're going to find... What page is that on? That is on page 39. On the same page as The Old Beggar Woman. So, page 39. And I hope you all don't mind. When I read, I sound a bit weird. So it will be a bit different. Okay. Oh, The Old Beggar Woman is literally a paragraph. Is it really a story? If it's all of, 8 sentences? I don't know if that really counts. Because then you have short stories, which is the classic thing, But this is literally like a block. This is like something you'd read, like a review for a restaurant or something. I don't know. But that is not what we're reading here. We're reading The Jew Among Thorns. Hello, Lung. You're just in time to hear The Jew Among Thorns. I don't know what this story is about, but we'll find out together. I have not vetted this for anything. It's going to be a learning experience for all of us. Ahem. There once was a rich man who had a servant who served him diligently and honestly. Every morning the servant was first out of bed and the last to go to rest at night. And whenever there was a difficult job to be done, which nobody cared to undertake, he was always the first to set himself to it. Moreover, he never complained but was contented with everything and was always merry. When a year was ended, his master gave him no wages, for he said to himself, "That is the cleverest way, for I shall save something, and he will not go away, but stay quietly in my service." The servant said nothing, but did his work the second year as he had done it the first. And when at the end of this, likewise, he received no wages, he made himself happy and stayed on. This sounds horrible. Who would do something for free? Well, we're not going to answer that question. Anyways, when the third year also was past, the master considered, put his hand in his pocket, but pulled nothing out. Then at last the servant said, "Master, for 3 years I have served you honestly. Be so good as to give me what I ought to have, for I wish to leave and look about me a little more in the world." "Yes, my good fellow," answered the old miser. "You have served me industriously, and therefore you shall be cheerfully rewarded." And he put his hand into his pocket, but counted out only 3 farthings, saying, "There, you have a farthing for each year. That is large and liberal pay, such as you would have received from few masters." The honest servant, who understood little about money, put his fortune into his pocket and thought, "Ah, now that I have my purse full, Why need I trouble and plague myself any longer with hard work? So on he went, up the hill and down dale, and sang and jumped to his heart's content. Now it came to pass that as he was gone by a thicket, a little man stepped out and called to him.
Whither away, merry brother? I see you do not carry many cares.
Why should I be sad? Answered the servant. I have enough. 3 years' wages are jingling in my pocket.
How much is your treasure?
The dwarf asked him. Oh, he's a dwarf. I feel like I should do voices. I'm going to do voices for this. Watch.
Look here,
said the dwarf.
I am but a poor and needy man. Give your 3 farthings. I can work no longer, but you are young, and can easily earn your bread.
And as the servant had a good heart, and felt pity for the old man, he gave him the 3 farthings, saying, Take them in the name of heaven. I shall not be any the worse for it. This is actually a really good message. Hold on, what's going on here? And then the little man said,
As I see you have a good heart, I grant you 3 wishes, 1 for each farthing. They shall all be fulfilled.
Aha, said the servant. You are one of those who can work wonders. Well then, if it is to be so, I wish first for a gun, which I shall. What? What? Oh. Wait, hold on a second. I take it back. This isn't as wholesome as I thought it was. Okay, I've lost my place. Okay. Which shall hit everything that I aim at. Secondly, for a fiddle, which when I play on it shall compel all who hear to dance. Thirdly, that if I ask a favor of anyone, he shall not be able to refuse it.
And that shall you have,
said the dwarf, and put his hand into the bush, and only think, there lay a fiddle and a gun, all ready just as if they had been ordered. These he gave to the servant, and then said to him, Whatever you may ask at any time, no man in the world shall be able to deny you. Heart alive! What more can one desire? Said the servant to himself, and went merrily onwards. Soon afterwards he met a Jew with a long goat's beard, who was standing listening to the song of a bird, which was sitting up at the top of a tree. Oh my! Okay, give me a second here. I'm crying. I was laughing so hard. Well, no, he didn't buy a gun. He simply. My man was given 3 wishes, and said, "Wish number 1, a gun." No, I'm the good doctor. Oh, hello, Giraffe Master. But no, it is funny. I'm not sure if you were here for it. But this man was given 3 wishes by a magical dwarf who lived in a bush. And the first thing this man wished for, he was promised whatever his heart desires. He wished for a gun. I mean, sure, it was a gun that would hit whatever he aimed it at, but regardless, it was a gun. He said, for my first wish, a gun. Second wish. What is his second wish? Second wish was a fiddle that could play itself, essentially. I kind of agree with that. That'd be fun. If I had a wish, I would wish for a guitar that could play beautifully. Just I could play the guitar, play any song on it that my heart desires. And then my gun. And then his third wish was concerning. He wished that no one could tell him no when he asked for a favor. But now back to the story. Good heavens, he was exclaiming, that such a small creature should have such a fearfully loud voice. If it were but mine, if only someone would sprinkle some salt upon its tail. What does that mean? If that is all, said the servant, the bird shall soon be down here. And taking aim, he pulled the trigger, and down fell the bird into the thorn bushes. Go on, you rogue, he said to the Jew, and fetch the bird out for yourself. Oh, said the Jew, leave out the rogue, my master, and I will do it at once. I will get the bird out for myself, and you really have at it. Have hit. Wait, what? For myself, as you really have hit it. Then he lay down on the ground and began to crawl into the thicket. When he was fast among the thorns, and the good servant's humour so tempted him that he took up his fiddle and began to play. Oh wait, that's right. The fiddle, the fiddle actually makes people dance. He's essentially a bard now. The Dungeons. It's Otto's irresistible dance. It's a deep cut, I suppose you could call it. But. I lost my place. Yes. In a moment, the Jew's legs began to move, and to jump into the air, and the more the seven fiddled, the better went the dance. But the thorns tore his shabby coat for him, combed his beard, and pricked and plucked him all over the body. "Oh dear!" cried the Jew. "What do I want to do? What do I want with your fiddling? Leave the fiddle alone, master. I do not want to dance." But the seven did not listen to him, and thought, "You have fleeced people long enough." Oh, it's his. Wait, is this his master? Who is this guy? Now, wait, I'm so confused. This is just some guy. It's not. Is it his? No, this isn't his master, is it? Regardless, but the seven did not listen to him, and thought, "You have fleeced people long enough. Now the thorn bushes shall do the same to you." And he began to play over again, so that the Jew had to jump higher than ever, and scraps of his coat were left hanging on the thorns. "Oh, woe is me!" cried. This feels really. The more I read this, it feels very terrible. I'll ask you what you all think. Should I keep reading this story, or should I find a different one? Because the more I read this, the more concerned that this is perhaps anti-Semitic. And although I don't really stream too often, but I am still concerned over the fact that this could be viewed as anti-Semitic. So, I will ask you, the viewers at home, should I keep reading and let's see where this journey takes us, or should I read Rumpelstiltskin? Run. Okay, well, we're gonna keep reading then. Let me get a drink of water to prepare myself mentally for this train wreck. Brothers Grimm, you had some issues, my dudes. Some issues. Okay, back at it. I will give the gentleman whosoever he asks, if only he leaves off fiddling, a purse full of gold. Wait, that's not it. Oh, woe is me, cried the Jew. I will give the gentleman whatsoever he asks, if only he leaves off fiddling, a purse full of gold. If you're so liberal, said the servant, I will stop my music. But this I must say to your credit, that you dance to it so well that it is quite an art. And having taken the purse, he went his way. The Jew stood still and watched the servant quietly until he was far off out of sight, and then he screamed out with all his might, "You miserable musician! You beer-house fiddler! Wait till I catch you!" Wait till I catch you. Wait. I lost my place. Hold on. Wait. Ah, yes. Wait till I catch you alone. I will hunt you till your soles of your shoes fall off, you ragamuffin. I'll just put 5 farthings in your mouth. Then you may have the worth of 3 halfpence. I don't know what that means. And went on abusing him as fast as he could speak. As soon as he could refresh himself a little in this way, and got his breath again, he ran into the town to justice. My lord judge, he said, I have come to make a complaint. See how a rascal has robbed and ill-treated me on the public highway. A stone on the ground might pity me. My clothes are torn, my body pricked and scratched. my little all gone with my purse and good ducats. What's a ducat? Each. Okay, so it is anti-Semitic. Okay, we're gonna stop there. It seems. I thought it was. Thank you for that, genocide. We're going to not read that anymore. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. Rumpelstiltskin time. Rumpelstiltskin time. No more of this. What my luck. The first story we read tonight is anti-Semitic. Okay, where's Rumpelstiltskin? We're gonna go over to a decent fairy tale. Let's see here. Rumpelstiltskin. Okay. See, I have like. Okay, listen. It's not my fault. I didn't plan to be anti-Semitic. It was an accident. The brothers Grimm decided to write this one. Okay. So from now on, I'm going to do some research beforehand if I find a new one. And if it so happens that the one I'm reading is anti-Semitic or perhaps another form of, prejudice, then perhaps I will not read that. But, okay, so let's see here. Rumpelstiltskin. That is... Let's see. There isn't really... Ah, there it is. Page 235. Of all the 213 stories in this book, I chose the one that was anti-Semitic. But I found it. I will now regale you all with the tale of Rumpelstiltskin. There once was a miller who was poor, but he had one beautiful daughter. It happened one day when he came... Wait, what? His daughter happened one day? It happened one day that he came to speak with the king, and, to give himself consequence, he told him that he had a daughter who could spin gold out of straw. The king said to the miller, "That is an art that pleases me." Wait, that is an art that pleases me. What is that voice? That's a terrible voice. What does the king sound like?
That is an art that pleases me well. If your daughter is as clever as you say, bring her to my castle tomorrow, that I may put her to proof.
When the girl was brought to him, he led her into a room that was quite full of straw, and gave her a wheel and a spindle, and said, "Now set to work, and..." Wait.
"Now set to work, and if it by..."
What? No, that's a terrible father voice. No, it works. I like it. "Now set to work, and if it by the early morning you have not spun this straw to gold, Oh wait, no, that's the king.
"Now set to work, and if by the early morning you have not spun this straw to gold, you shall die."
And he shut the door himself and left her there alone. So, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it 100% with the dad. Of all the lies to tell to the king about your daughter, spinning straw into gold is probably the worst one to do. Simply because come on, man. You could have done something a bit better, something a bit more untestable, perhaps. It's like, come on, man. What did you think was going to happen? Did you think that the king was going to take your word for it? Be like, okay, cool, dude. I'll let your daughter live in my castle for free. No, he's going to be like, all right, cool, let's put it to the test. I got some straw. I have a spindle. Let's make some magic. So, yeah, unfortunate situation to find yourself in. But all is not lost. For, you see, and so the poor miller's daughter was left there, sitting and could not think what to do for her life. She had no notion how to set to work to spin gold from straw, and her distress grew so great that she began to weep. Then all at once the door opened, and in came a little man who said, "Good evening, miller's..." Actually, I feel like my voice just fits for Rumpelstiltskin. "Good evening, miller's daughter. Why are you crying?" "Oh," answered the girl, "I have got to spin gold out of straw, and I don't understand the business." Then the little man said, "What will you give me if I spin it for you?" "My necklace," said the girl. The little man took the necklace, seated himself before the wheel, and whir, 3 times round, and the bobbin was full. Then he took up another, and whir, 3 times round, and that was full. And so he went on till the morning, when all the straw had been spun, and all the bobbins were full of gold. At the sunrise came the king, and when he saw the gold, he was astonished, and very much rejoiced, for he was very avaricious. That's a $3 word. He was very avaricious. He had the miller's daughter taken into another room filled with straw. How many rooms with straw does this king have? Filled bigger than the last. Why does he have so many rooms filled with straw? I guess he's a king. He's rich. When you're rich, you just have rooms filled with straw. Much bigger than the last, and told her that as she valued her life, she must spin it all in one night. The girl did not know what to do, so she began to cry. And when the door opened, and the little man appeared and said, "What will you give me if I spin all this straw into gold?" The ring from my finger," answered the girl. So the little man took the ring and began to send the wheel, whirring round, and by the next morning all the straw was spun into glistening gold. The king was rejoiced beyond measure at the sight, but as he could never have enough gold, he had the miller's daughter taken into a still larger room full of straw, and said,
This too must be spun in one night, and if you accomplish it, you shall be my wife." For he thought, "Although she is but a miller's daughter, I am not likely to find anyone richer in the whole world."
What is up? He is literally a gold digger. That is insane. As soon as the girl was left alone, the little man appeared for the 3rd time and said, "What will you give me if I spin the straw for you this time?" "I have nothing left to give," answered the girl. "Then you must promise me your first child after you are queen," said the little man. "But who knows whether that will happen?" "But who knows whether that will happen?" thought the girl. But as she did not know what else to do in her necessity, she promised the little man what he desired, upon which he began to spin until all the straw was gold. And when in the morning the king came and found all done according to his wish, he caused the wedding to be held at once, and the miller's pretty daughter became a queen. In a year's time she brought a fine child into the world, and thought no more of the little man. But one day he came suddenly into a room, and said, Now give me what you promised me." The queen was terrified greatly, and offered the little man all the riches of the kingdom if he would only leave the child. But the little man said, "No, I would rather have something living than all the treasures in the world." I'm concerned about the fact that he wants a child. But it could be worse, I suppose. Maybe. Perhaps. Regardless, back to the story. I just find it so silly. But sorry, I got a text message. So, yes, all the treasures in the world. Where did it go? I lost my place. Hold on. Ah, yes, there it is. Then the queen began to lament and to weep, so that the little man had pity upon her. "I will give you 3 days," said he, "and if at the end of that time you cannot tell my name, you must give up the child to me." Then the queen spent the whole night in thinking over all the names that she had ever heard, and sent a messenger through the lands to ask far and wide for all the names that could be found. And when the little man came the next day, beginning with Caspar, Melchior, Balthazar, she repeated all she knew, and went through the whole list, but after each the little man said, "That is not my name." The 2nd day, the queen sent to inquire of all the neighbors what the servants were called, and told the little man all the most unusual and singular names, saying, "Perhaps you are roast ribs, or sheepshank, or spindleshanks. How would you like to be named Spindleshanks? I think that's a lovely name. If I could give you... Know what? How do you all like that? Would you all like to be called my little Spindleshanks? I think you would. You are my little Spindleshanks, each and every one of you." But he answered nothing. "But that is not my name." The third day, the messenger came back again and said, "I have not been able to find one single new name. But as I passed through the woods, I came to a high hill, and near it was a little house, and before the house burned a fire, and around the fire danced a comical little man. And he hopped on one leg and cried, 'Today do I bake, tomorrow I brew, and the day after that the queen's child comes in. And oh, I am and oh, I am glad that nobody knew that the name I am called is Rumpelstiltskin.' That is not a very good rhyme. Wait, I did it wrong. Hold on, I've got this. Today I bake, tomorrow I brew. The day after that the queen's child comes in. And oh, I am glad that nobody knew that the name I am called is Rumpelstiltskin. I did it! Anyways, you cannot think how pleased the queen was to hear that name. And soon afterwards, when the little man walked in and said, "Now, Mrs. Queen, what is my name?" She said at first, "Are you called Jack?" "No," answered he. "Are you called Harry?" She asked again. "No," answered he. And then she said, "Then perhaps your name is Oh, wait, no, that's not over. Then perhaps your name is Rumpelstiltskin." "The devil told you that! The devil told you that!" cried the little man, and in his anger he stamped with his right foot so hard that it went into the ground above his knee. Then he seized his left foot with both hands in such a fury that he split in two, and there was the end of him. Yeah, that's the end of the story. That's it. Yeah, that's the end of the story. What the freak? I didn't realize. Rumpelstiltskin dies in the end. Did you all know this? I don't. So, well, I need a moment here to kind of collect my thoughts. So, what we've learned, Rumpelstiltskin is some sort of extra magical being who really wanted a child and was so frustrated that she guessed his name, he ripped himself in twain and died. Amazing. Truly amazing. Wow. I'm flabbergasted. Truthfully. Just completely and wholly gasted. My flabbers are gasted. My jimmies are rustled. So, yeah. Regardless, we have covered the tale of Rumpelstiltskin. So what did we learn? I think we've learned that was the Brothers Grimm. Who wrote this? I know the Brothers Grimm didn't write all these. They compiled them. I want to know who wrote this and what they were smoking. Because truthfully, it must have been good. Anyways, I think we have time for one more story. And we're going to choose carefully as to not have another anti-Semitism incident. Because that did not, was not exactly what we wanted, is it? Not at all. Not at all. So, the incident, yes. Starting out strong. Okay, let's see. I think we should just play it safe and do one that is already well known. So, we could do Tom Thumb. No? Perhaps. Perhaps not. Should we flip a coin? Should I roll a D100, a D213? See what I like that idea. Hold on, give me a moment here. I'm going to roll a 213-sided die, and whatever it gives us is what we shall read. So if you give me but a moment. Roll 1D213. Oh, I did that wrong. Give me a moment. There we go, 27, of course. I swear, wait. No, please. Okay, we're fine. We are fine. The Smelly Mountain. Not smelly, Simelly. So, we're going... I've never heard of this one, actually. So, we're going to do our best to hope that it is not another racially motivated one. Let's see, 86. Let's see. Oh, that's a long one. Here we go. Is this one long too? No, it's not. This is very short. Okay, lovely. This is the Smelly Mountain from the Brothers Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. Let me get some water real quick. Reading for you all makes my mouth very dry. Ahem. There were once two brothers, the one rich, the other poor. The rich one, however, gave nothing to the poor one, and he gained a scanty living by trading in corn, and often did so badly that he had no bread for his wife and children. A whole... Wait, did that get picked up? Hold on, I need to test it now. I spilled water on myself. But, regardless. Oh, let me... That, I don't know why I did that. I made a mess. Okay, back to the brother who is terrible at selling corn. Once when he was wheeling a barrow through the forest, he saw on the side of him a great bare naked-looking mountain. And as he had never seen it before, he stood still and stared at it with amazement. While he was thus standing, he saw 12 great wild men coming towards him, and as he believed they were robbers, he pushed his barrow into the thicket, climbed up a tree, and waited to see what would happen. The 12 men, however, went to the mountain and cried, "Sempsey Mountain, Sempsey Mountain, Sempsey Mountain, open!" And immediately the barren mountain opened down the middle, and the 12 went into it, and as soon as they were within, it shut. After a short time, however, it opened again. And the men came forth, carrying heavy sacks on their shoulders. And they were all once more in the daylight. They said, Sempsey Mountain, shut thyself. Then the mountain closed together, and there was no longer any entrance to be seen to it. And the 12 went away. When they were quite out of sight, the poor man got down from the tree, and was curious to know what really was secretly inside the mountain. So he went up to it and said, Sempsey Mountain, open! And the mountain opened to him also. Then he went inside, and the whole mountain was a cavern full of silver and gold, and behind lay great piles of pearls, sparkling jewels heaped up like corn. The corn again, back with the corn. The poor man hardly knew what to do, and whether he might take any of these treasures for himself or not. But at last he filled his pockets with gold. He has a wheelbarrow. Why did he fill the wheelbarrow? What? But he left the pearls and precious stones where they were. When he came out again, also said, Sempsey Mountain, shut thyself. And the mountain closed itself. And he went home with his barrow, which he could have filled with gold. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm the target audience for this story. Am I the greedy... Excuse me, I burped. Am I the greedy one? Was this written for me? Listen. Listen. It's not because they're shiny, it's because gold has monetary value. And that is good. For me, at least. Regardless, greed is bad. Remember that, kids. That's I can already tell that's going to be the moral of this story. And now he had no more cause for his anxiety, but could buy bread for his wife and children with his gold, and wine into the bargain. He lived joyously and uprightly, gave help. Oh, wait, he's a good man! Gave help to the poor and did good to everyone. When, however, the money came to an end, he went to his brother, borrowed a measure that held a bushel, and brought himself some more, but did not touch any of the most valuable things. When for the third time he wanted to fetch something, he again borrowed the measure for his brother. The rich man had, however, long been envious of his brother's possessions, and of the handsome way of living which he had set on foot, and could not understand from whence the riches came, and what his brother wanted with the measure. Then he thought of a cunning trick, and covered the bottom of the measure with pitch, and when he got the measure back, a piece of money was sticking to it. He went at once to his brother and asked him, "What hast thou been measuring in the bushel measure?" "Corn and barley," said the other. Then he showed him the piece of money, and threatened that if he did not tell the truth, he would accuse him before a court of justice. The poor man then told him everything, just as it had happened. The rich man, however, ordered his carriage to be made ready, and drove away, resolved to use the opportunity better than his brother had done, and to bring back with him quite different treasures. When he came to the mountain, he cried, Semsi mountain, open!" The mountain opened, and he went inside it. There lay the treasures all before him, and for a long time he did not know which to clutch at first. At length he loaded himself with as many precious stones as he could carry. He wished to carry his burden outside, but as his heart and soul were entirely full of the treasures, he had forgotten the name of the mountain, and cried, Semeli mountain, open!" That, however, was not the right name. The mountain never stirred, but remained shut. Then he was alarmed, but the longer he thought about it, the more his thoughts confused themselves, and his treasures were no more of any use to him. In the evening the mountain opened, and the 12 robbers came in, and they saw him and laughed and cried, "Bird, have we caught thee at last? Didst thou think we had never noticed that thou hadst been in here twice? We could not catch thee then. This third time thou shalt not get out again." Then he cried, "It was not I, it was my brother." But let him beg for his life, and say what he would, they cut off his head. Oh. Okay, so the story wasn't about me. It was about someone else. Because it's not about greed. It's about how envy is a bad thing. See, if the rich brother had just been satisfied with what he had, then he'd still be alive. That's the moral of the story. It's not always about being jealous about what other people have. It's about accepting what you have. You see? Glad you all agree with me. Yes. I'm sure you all agree. Totally. That's the moral of the story. It's not that you should not reach after for more than you have, but it's that don't be envious of your brother. Because, sometimes you get lucky. And don't think, because that's the thing. Think about it. This was the poor brother. He was the poor man. He didn't have anything. Bro couldn't even afford bread. And he was bad at selling corn. And he came into all these good things. And you know what he did? He was generous. He was a good man. He was doing the right things with the money he came into. And then his other brother was like, yo, what the freak? How did he get all this money? He's just giving away money? Are you kidding me? And he did not like that. So, yeah. Now we know. But I do think that is a good... We read 2.5 stories. I am curious though. Hold on. I saw there was... What is it? The old woman one. What was that? That was... It was before Rumpelstiltskin, wasn't it? No. It was before the Jew one. Hold on. The old beggar woman, that's what it was. I'm curious, because that one's literally a paragraph. I want to know what it's about, and you're all gonna learn with me. Because you're here and I'm holding you hostage. Okay, here we go. Let me get some more water as we read the last story of the night. Are you ready? Good. I didn't give you time to answer, but I don't really care, truthfully. Because I am ready. And me being ready is the only thing that matters, truthfully. So, there once the old beggar woman. There once was an old woman, but thou hast surely seen an old woman go a begging before now. This woman begged likewise, and when she got anything she had, she said, "May God reward you." The beggar woman came to a door, and there by the fire, a friendly rogue of a boy was standing warming him. Excuse me, I hiccuped. Was standing warming himself. The boy said kindly to the poor old woman, as she was standing shivering thus by the door, "Come, old mother, and warm yourself." She came in, but stood too near the fire, so that her old rags began to burn, and she was not aware of it. The boy stood and saw that, but he ought to have put the flames out. And if he could not find any water, then he should have wept all the water in his body out of his eyes, and that would have supplied 2 fine streams with which to extinguish them. That's it. That's the end of the story. I don't know what the message is. So it seems like the boy just watched her catch on fire? I think. Which... I don't know what to do. I'm genuinely at a loss. Of all the stories tonight, even counting the anti-Semitic one, I do believe that was the strangest. Simply because it was very short and somewhat nonsensical. So yeah. What was the message here? What do you all think the message was with that? Because I genuinely don't know. Because the kid, well, it seemed like the beggar lady, people were nice to her, and she was nice back. And then the boy, he wasn't terrible to her. He said, "Oh, come warm yourself by the fire." Is the moral of the story, don't light people on fire? Is the moral of the story, put people out when they light on fire? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm a little bit at a loss. Which is saying a lot because I, had to deal with the last one. So, yeah. I think... Should we do one more? Do you all want one more? Because that was really short, and I'm going to be real with you. I think that was my least favorite story so far. So yes and no. Can I make a poll? Is that a thing? Can polls be made? Give me a moment here. /poll? No. Just create. No. I cannot make a poll. So, one more. I don't know. No, we're not doing another anti-Semitic one. Mainly because I don't think there are anymore. And I'm not going to look it up. So, no, we'll do one more, but it's not going to be anti-Semitic. The one before this one, you two stop that. You know how, I'm going to be the one to point this out. How, I don't want to say inappropriate it is, but the fact that the person name genocide is asking for an anti-Semitic fairy tale. Come on. Come on. That does not look good on paper, does it? Nor does it sound good out loud. Oh boy. I don't know if I want to do Cinderella's kind of been done, you know? It's a bit overplayed. So, we'll do that a different time. Because I do want to do, there's, like I said, over 200 fairy tales in here. So I think we should I'll do these again. But we will not be doing Cinderella. Because everyone knows Cinderella. Cinderella is basic, it's blasé, it's overdone. So, we will do, instead, The Ungrateful Son. Because some people are ungrateful. 363. Also, don't use that emoji at me. I don't speak bottom. Maybe. It could be about you. Who knows? I don't. It very well could be about you too, truthfully. Here we go. The Ungrateful Son. Ahem. A man and his wife were once sitting by the door of the house, and they had a roasted chicken set before them, and were about to eat it together. Then the man saw that his aged father was coming, and hastily took the chicken and hid it, for he would not permit him to have any of it. The old man came, took a drink, and went away. The son wanted to put the roasted chicken on the table again, but when he took it up, it had become a great toad, which jumped into his face and sat there and never went away again. And if anyone wanted to take it off, it looked venomously at him, and if it would jump in his face, as if it would jump in his face, so that no one would venture to touch it. And the ungrateful son was forced to feed the toad every day, or else it fed itself on his face. And thus he went about the world without knowing rest. There you go. At least the moral in this one is a bit more easy to see. You know, be nice to your parents, I suppose. Don't be greedy and selfish. You know, don't try and take advantage of a poor doctor and his generous offer to read another story just to get more story. Being, oh, I don't like that story. I want Cinderella. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, that's it. See? Ungrateful. You're going to get a toad. Anyways. With that amazing, wonderful story, I think we will end today's stream there. It was a short stream. But of course, this was a surprise stream. It was not really planned. But I will be sure that in the future, I will give you all sufficient heads up so that you can put it in your calendar, just write it, schedule it in, and make sure that you have some time to come listen. Next time, I don't want to say next week, because anytime I give an actual time frame for this, then I end up not doing it. So, next time, I think we'll play a little game. Or something funny. I've been looking into the fearsome critters because I think they're quite entertaining. And I think it'd be fun for me to do a tier list of the fearsome critters to share which ones I think are fun and which ones just share which ones I enjoy the most. So yeah, I believe that is what I will do. So, that is on the docket for next time. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope that you all have a lovely, lovely weekend, and I want you to know that I love you. Goodbye. I will not be doing a smash or pass. Goodbye.